Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anko the Shooter, and today I'm here to do my noble duty of sharing knowledge that perhaps I got because I preceded, or knowledge because perhaps I like sharing, or I just want to assist someone so that one day when they sit and say, why it's not for me getting this knowledge, I wouldn't be where I am today. So as you see on the screen, I've outlined reasons why most Kenyans don't do scholarships. We don't get scholarships. Perhaps they'll give you so very many attitudes. Our education system is bad. We don't really meet the international standards. Many reasons, very petty reasons. Sorry. But today I'm here to tell you that some of the reasons, these are just few reasons. There are many reasons, but these are some of the few reasons that I identified, and I'll be explaining in this session. So we'll all agree, if you come from the village, or perhaps from underprivileged society, the first thing that you're told, I'm doing an assumption that this message is I'm using a Kenyan from the local area, from a remote area or underprivileged family, as a case study. So if you come if you belong to this cluster of people who come from the village, those people are called district champions. Perhaps they were the best in the village. They are those quote unquote creme de la creme. So when you did your Form 4, when you did your high school, the first thing you are told, even by the peers around you, is that you need to do driving. Perhaps you're told to do computer packages. But today I'm here to tell you that what they told you is they were telling you so that you actually you go back to the same village you've grown in. Sorry. What they told you is just based on the information. So let me just change my fonts here. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'll just do just quickly. Yeah, let me just I don't know. So okay, now let me explain what you're told. Perhaps let me just clear this. So today we'll do a case study. Try to analyze two people. One from the village. I'll call that village Nyalugunga, my favorite name. Then one from town. My favorite estate, I think, is Lavington. So far, so good. Those I've visited, I think I can compare and I can attest that Lavington is my favorite. So I'll give a case study. So here we have Nyalugunga. Then on the other end we have someone who is totally different. Let's call them. This guy is from Lavington. Yeah. Perhaps if you're not from Kenya, so Lavington is the high end, more or less, for bourgeoisies. For the rich. Then this is just a random village. Nothing. No hard feelings about it. I don't even know where this village is, but I know it exists in Kenya. It's one of the villages, but I assume that this represents the remote areas. So now, when you did your Form 4, perhaps you went to of course, district champions normally go to either a good high school in their area, or perhaps even a national school. So KCSE, we're putting the first merit KCSE. You all got B pluses, 72 points. Same person, perhaps in Lavington, perhaps in Lavington they also got the same qualification. So that is not a big problem. So also they also got KCSE 72 points. This is a B plus, or even let's make it an A minus. Let's just make it an A minus. let's make it an A minus. So an A minus starts from let's give it a 76. I'm using the same example I used in my previous video. 76. Now up to this point, you guys can say you guys are what? Are equal. You're given same opportunity. Education gave you a flat ground for all of you to fight for your chances. So you all had A minus. He also had an A minus. Now the second thing, so not even the second thing. The first thing they told you to do once you're out of campus is for you to do computer packages. Computer packages. Do you know one thing? Do you know what they never told you? One, you don't even have a laptop, perhaps, but you're doing computer packages, so you're going to do it in a cyber, or somewhere where there are computers. You know. Do you know what they never told you? On the other end, is that when you're doing your computer packages in Nyalugunga, someone in Lavington was doing their SATs. Standard assessment tests. I think I'm not exactly sure of the exact meaning, but these are exams you do when you want to go abroad. So up to here, there is a discrepancy. You guys are not equal anymore. Now we proceed. They told you once you're done with your computer packages, you do driving. Yeah? Do you know what they told the guy in Lavington to do? They told them to do language tests. Yeah. These are ALTs or TOEFL. You see? So again, up to this level, okay, let me just say it's driving license. Perhaps let me say there is no car at your place, not even a neighbor with car. You're not planning to be in the public transport. So you did a driving license that costs you a fortune for you to keep it at home. No hard feelings, but that's where we grew. But while you're busy doing your driving license, your driving course, someone was doing IELTS and TOEFL, and you see, by the fact remains that these guys went to big schools. Most of them went to good schools, I assume, and perhaps that at that time, what they did is more or less of okay. At that time, I'm assuming these guys had very good understanding of English, so it was easy for them to pass, and they made it, of course. Perhaps in IELTS they gave up 7.5 out of 9. While you're busy doing road signs, no entry, no parking, I don't know, whatever, no stopping junction or something. While you're doing the model town board, these guys were doing TOEFL. I mean, I'm talking reality. This is where I was. This is where I found myself into. So it's not my fault. This is where I was raised into. Now, the difference between these three guys is, I don't know. The difference between these three guys in terms of how they're prepared for life, these guys will never be the same, and that's why you guys, that's why most of you guys are struggling nowadays, because your parents never had information enough to tell you what to do, what was the best thing to do, and how they could have prepared you better for life. Now, I'll explain some of the reasons. So, one of the things that will make people, the poor still remain poor is information asymmetry. That's one of the. That's actually the other reason why. That's the first reason here that I wrote why we don't get scholarships. Because while you guys are struggling to apply for scholarships with your, I don't know, bachelor's degree, whatever thing, whatever qualification you have, these guys already have the exact requirements that they need for them to join either Ivy League universities, other good universities outside Kenya. But did you know that you need IELTS? You didn't know. Actually knew that test when I came to Nairobi. Did you know that you needed a standard test, SATs? Some of those who knew that did them in, I don't know, even the centers. But perhaps, I know, I might be saying this, but there's someone here watching this video who doesn't know even where these SATs are done. So you're there, you want to go to, to study abroad, but you don't even have the bare minimum qualifications. Now, look, you see, so like for the requirements, so I'll give my analysis. So for you to join the undergraduate degree abroad, one, you need to have a very strong GPA in KCSE, which I assume in this case you do have, because a 76 in Kenya is quite a good grade. Yeah. So that one you qualified by default. You worked hard, of course. You had no option, so you had to work hard, and you had an A-, of course you passed. The second thing you need to have is a language test. Yes, you did English from primary, but they need to confirm your language proficiency. So you do an IELTS. I mean, the minimum should be around the bare minimum. I think you should be getting a 6.5. I'm not sure, out of 9. The other thing you need to have is a standard test. So a standard test, more or less, of tests your general understanding and how best are you, or how prepared are you to fit the curriculum abroad. So this is for undergraduate. Yeah. But I'm sure there's someone who is watching this video who doesn't know that there's a test people do if they want to go for their graduate. This is for undergraduate. So let me just push it to the right. So for undergraduate, you'll need so let me just outline this. So undergraduate, then we have the graduate side. Graduate. So quickly, I have like 3 minutes. I'm not sure. So now the first thing is, for undergraduate, one, you need a language test. Same with graduate, a language test. Yeah. So in this case, it's almost similar. IELTS, same with IELTS. Yeah. Second thing you need is a standard test. Standard test. In this case, okay, same thing here. You'll need a standard test, but I will not write the full name, so because of space, so I'll just write the test. So here you need GRE, Graduate Record Exam, or GMAT. I think it should be Graduate Management or something. Management Assessment Test, I don't know. Graduate Management Assessment Test, someone confirm that, the definition, but I know this is Graduate Record Exam. Yeah. So here you need SAT, or I think ACT, there's also ACT, if I'm not wrong. So number 3, which is very important, you need a passport, valid passport. I'm not sure if really, I don't know, because I'm at the 14th minute, so I'm not sure if this is, I'll have enough time to do that. But if I'm cut short, I can continue this video in my next video. I can continue with this whatever thing we're doing here. Valid passport as well. Valid passport for the 2. Let me see if I get extra minute. But if I'm cut short at 15 minutes, then I'll stop. But if I'm not, then I'll proceed. Let me see There we go. Oh, I got time. Thank you. Now, you're there. You want to join the graduate school abroad. And by the way, don't ask as if don't ask the question, have you yourself joined? Why are you telling us this? I may not have actually joined, or perhaps I'm in the process of joining the graduate school, but I know the process at this point because of research, because of talking to people. One of the things they say is that your dream is someone's possession. What you want to, the Range Rover you want to buy today, someone already has it. The Mercedes you want to own one day, someone already has it in their parking. So just need to talk to them and ask them, what did you guys do for you to join or for you to have what I really want to have in life. The other thing, perhaps on the undergraduate side, I won't proceed because I am not quite conversant with this area. But I think the fourth thing you need really is strong references. Strong references. From at this, if it's undergraduate, you need from high school, teachers from high school teachers, and preferably teachers who taught you your best subjects. That is the key thing. Preferably teachers teachers of best subjects, so that if you're telling them, if the teacher says you're really good in your craft, why did you get a C in that subject? So you need to actually talk to teachers who you performed best in their subjects. They do a good recommendation, to give them the guidelines of how they should be saying it, then chances are very high for you to be admitted. The other thing, okay, we said, by the way, let me just put it down here. Let me just scroll up. The other thing you need at point number 5 on a graduate is you need a strong GPA in core subjects. I'll go to the graduate side. I know. Someone might be saying, I don't need this undergraduate part, but it's someone who needs to hear this. So, for instance, if you're going for computer science, you need a very strong. Okay, these are the key. This is math. This is language. So English in this case. There's no Swahili. Sorry for guys who are good in Swahili. They won't need it. You need a physics, very strong physics, and then you need a computer in your, or perhaps a good, perhaps if you're going for computer science, you just need to have a computer grade, and you need strong as in this. By the way, the bare minimum that you can compete with is an A. They never told you that. They told you can get anything you want, but if you want to join abroad, please ensure you have this in your transcript, or what is it called? Is it transcript, or we call it result slip? Now, I'll stop here for the undergraduate part. Let me go to the graduate part, because that's where I believe most people, I'm addressing most of the people in the room. So now, you're there. You've not done a language test, and in this case, IELTS is recommended because it applies to almost, I think, IELTS or TOEFL, any can do. Now, the other thing you need to have is a second upper or a first class honors. Yes, and even this second upper must be good, strong, 68% and above. But if you don't have the privilege of getting this, you can do the other way of GPA. And if you didn't know how to calculate GPA, please go back to my previous video that the one I said how to put your achievements on the CV and know how to do your GPA. So the minimum they expect from you is a 3.6 for you to join the graduate school. Because if you want to compete with the good universities, for positions in good universities, this is what you need. But you see, for someone who got a first class, it's easy for them. I think they should be having, the minimum should be 3.73 for someone who got a first class. Now, point number 4. You're there. You're wondering, how do I join the graduate school? You need strong references. And perhaps, if possible, I'm saying, if possible, one for profession, even if it means an internship. Yeah. And the second one should be education. And something to note, please. In education, yes, you might be wanting to get a reference from, I don't know, first year lecturer. Please, if possible, get it from your project teacher. If possible, get it from a lecturer who actually, one, understands how to do a reference. So while you're talking to them, please ensure that they have done, because you'll need how do I say, you'll need to talk to the, of course, from your assessment you need to understand that these people really know how to do a reference. Of course, I assume the majority of the lecturers know how to do references, but that reference has to be very detailed, not general, not generic things. But in most cases they'll ask you to do a draft. Then because most of them don't have time, so a draft, then you send them to just sign. If you're given this opportunity, please take it. Write the best you can. Don't put generic things, put very strong points that will actually support your staff. And please, according to point number 6, have a common story. But what do you mean by common story? You're there, they normally ask you what course do you want to pursue? Yeah? What course do you want to pursue? Now, what I mean by a common story is that if, for instance, you want to pursue economics, please let everything that you put there, from references to, and if, by the way, you also need to look for referees who actually, for the lecturers who actually recommend you here should be the ones actually you passed their units. So that when they say, yes, this is a strong student, they see that from a transcript, because that's one of the things they need to mention. How do they know you? Which unit do they teach you? Now, the next thing is, okay, now if you want to do, as I said, you want to do economics, you want to do an undergraduate degree in economics, from work experience. From work experience to so from work experience to education to 3. Perhaps you also, even if it's even if you do something, different things, but let them be related. I'll give an example of what is related. If you want to do economics, you'll need data analysis. I think data analysis is one of the key things, because you're analyzing economic data. And then, of course, you did your undergraduate economics here, or Bachelor of Arts economics, whatever thing that is actually related to economics, or political economy, and something. And by the way, just on a light note, and I'll explain it in my next video, is CPA is not a complement. It's not a complement to economics. It's not. I'm sorry to say so. I'm sorry to share the bad news, but it's not a complement to economics. Yes, you do economics down there. As an accountant needs economics, but an economist doesn't need accounting. I don't know if you're getting. The route is one way. So an accountant needs economics, but it's not the other way. This is not the other way. An economist does not need accounting for them to be economists, because basically you're going into research. And that brings me to another point. You need to know your career well, really well. Now, as I said, from work experience, from education, let it just talk about one key character. So that, for instance, if you did undergraduate, okay, bachelor's of econ, then you went further. Okay, but if you've done CPA, no, don't worry. But you'll have to drop it at some point because you won't need it. You don't need CPA in economics, but you need economics in CPA. So you did Bachelor of Econ, then you did an internship, perhaps in the Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor. Maybe perhaps as an whatever, whatever thing you did, but it has to be related to what? To economics. And if it's not related, don't mention it. Now, the other thing is you need to define a path, clear path. That should be perhaps number 3 here. That should be perhaps number 3. A clear path in your career. And by that, I mean a clear path. So a clear path. By clear path, it means it's not just an economist. You see, economics is like medicine. We have several staff and economics. Same thing I believe in any other courses. They are very small. Like you're saying, I just want to be an engineer. What engineer? And if you want to show that clear path, ensure you know what line of economics do you want to go. Yeah. Then 2, you have to know. You have to show you really how is your training from the units that you performed, how you performed. If you did perhaps labor economics and you want to be a labor economist, or if you did transport economics and you want to be a transport economist, please show the ability. And even in your engagements, in everything, and of course know people in that field. One of my biggest value is your dream is someone's possession. Please always consult. So you're there, you're wondering, how do I define a clear path? Please, 1, know people who have been in that path. What did they do? Then 2, know what actually that line pertains. The 4th one, if you want now to have what? Community impact. That's why they tell you to go do what? Volunteer. Go do volunteering. Volunteer. Because most of these international organizations or even schools sponsor people so that they can bring an impact back to their country. Don't tell them, hey, by the way, once I'm done with my master's or our PhD, I'll remain abroad. I won't come back to this poor place, this poor country. I'll stay there, perhaps be sending some chums. Are you thinking that is community development or impact? No. Show impact. I believe if you do these 4 things, and the 5th thing that I'm about to add here, you stand a very high chance of joining the graduate school in any country this world. The 5th one that I'll add, which is very important, the most important actually, is know how to give your story. That is number 5, and I'll actually write it in a different font. The essays. They'll tell you to write a personal statement, personal statement. They tell you, what motivates you to do what you do. They'll also tell you to do academics statement. You need to tell them why economics, or why why that cause, why climate action, why environmental science, why biosystems, why engineering. So you need to tell them why and the passion behind that. And then the other thing you need to do is, I think especially on the essays, I insist on this part, really be perfect, not just guessing. No, no, no. Be perfect, super perfect. And by the way, they might tell you, I don't know, they need simple English. But did you know the English that you think is complicated to someone is simple? They never said you should not use hard words. They only said don't use hard words where they're not supposed to be, because now they become bombastic words. I don't know, shenanigans, hullabaloos, I don't know, bamfazol, discombobulate, all those words, they exist, yes. But if you don't know how to use them, they'll actually show that you don't know English. But if you put them correctly, use them in the right way in your essays, and they make sense, nobody will think that essay is bombastic, because they make sense. Yes, they say use simple language, but if you have good English, good command of English, please use it. I have my English from Banda School. I use it frequently. I write the biggest English, by the way, trust you. And that has made me win a lot of essays. It made me win a lot of class units, in terms of even my essays in explaining my stuff. My theory, I was never good in theory at some point, but I became good because I learned the virtue of expressing everything I say in the best manner possible. Because the difference between a comedian and someone who is boring is how they put their story, and actually not even how they put their story, but the choice of words. You can be saying the same thing, but differently. The reason why LinkedIn is, people say it's hyped, because people tend to use a different language to express the same achievements. Someone did driving license, they tell you, I did a certification in automotive, I don't know, driving or whatever. Not even driving, automotive, something engineering with at a certificate level, I don't know, artisan's level. They'll put different, same achievement, but in a different language. Again, like my previous essay, like I said in my previous video, is that like a garnered egg, please shout your achievements. And the only way to shout your achievements also is by knowing how to phrase them. And how you phrase them is from these essays. By the way, don't mention obvious things. And even if it's obvious, then mention them in a very, very good language that will actually convince them truly that this guy needs help. And this is the difference between those people who don't go to graduate schools, and the difference between all those people who join the Ivy Leagues and those who actually join these other universities. For today, I'll stop here. In my next video, I'll explain some of the mistakes that different causes. Perhaps I won't. Let me not stop here. Let me just explain the last point, the final point. Please allow me explain that point. There's a point I wrote here in the 3 mistakes. Let me explain these. Actually, let me explain these 2 points quickly, then we finish this video. So the other thing, we tend to be overambitious. Now that you got an A- from your village, you think now you can control the world. You think now the world revolves around you. You are entitled, even in your essays. Bright. Who lied to you? Did you know that I have actually witnessed and have seen profiles of those who have applied to Harvard and have got admitted, who have been admitted. You say you're bright because you got 76 points? You had a B+ and you think you're bright? I'm not trying to discourage anyone. What I'm trying to say is, please don't be overambitious in expressing your achievements. No. Just be moderate. But make them understand that here means something. And that is where now the percentile thing comes in. If you say you had a 76 but you're the top student, that is different from 76 when you're number 105 in Alliance. Yeah? Or even in a big school. Because an A- of 76 in big schools, you're not even in top 10, you're not even top 20, you're not even top 30. Yeah? Now, if you are from Nyalugunga and you want to express that 76 and you make it look like the greatest thing here, you use percentiles. Say, of course, 76, but I was the best student, or I was number 2 in a class of 167. Makes sense. The other thing is, please, lower your expectations when you're applying for these things. You've applied to one university and you go around telling everyone that I've applied to MIT, I've applied to Harvard, I've applied to, I don't know, UK universities, Leeds, Warwick, mention them. Just wait until everything is confirmed before you even start sharing anything. Because when you tell people, then you get rejected. Do you know that the frustration? That's why most people have given up on the journey. But it's not over. You guys need to maybe brace up and focus on getting that admission. I think this is on ambition, or that's basically it on ambition. And of course, being too overambitious also makes you lose creativity. You don't express even your story well because you think like, kwani hamget, you guys don't understand what I'm saying. I was the best in my place, but you're not the best here. So always lower your expectations when you're applying for these things. The last thing that is killing us, that is beyond our sphere of influence, is the representation from that we got from our predecessors or antecedents. I'll explain this. I was talking to a professor from Canada. He was an adjunct professor then at the University of Nairobi. Then he said, the last Kenyan to ever go to University of Manitoba under scholarship from the school was just, underline the word, just a normal student. Do you know what that tells you? That in short, the school will never gain, or even is not thinking of picking another Kenyan. Because why? You never showed any exceptional qualities that actually justifies your selection. Now, the problem might not be them. The problem now falls on us. Because that effect, when you apply and they see anyone from Kenya, that's why they ask you, where do you come from? You think that is for their own documentation? No. That's one of the reasons. Yes, they want to, of course, they know where did you enroll from. But that is not the biggest reason. The reason why that country is most important when you're being admitted is so that they can compare your performance and say and make actually a conclusive decision that Kenyans, when they come here, they do well. Ghanaians, when they come here, they do well. Nigerians, when they come here, they do well. That's why, so I'm sorry to say so, but we will never compete with Nigeria. Because Nigerian guys, when they go there, they know they are there to deliver. And they deliver, by the way. Really, they deliver. But our antecedents, I don't know them. But from what this professor said is that it seems the curriculum in Kenya is not competent enough. But do you guys can concur with me that you schooled with people that you believed could even be among the best in Harvard? You can agree on that, isn't it? Personally, I know a couple, like about 5-10, that I know if today they were to be taught the same way with Harvard students, trust you me, those guys could be top 10. I know. Because I know of a guy who actually gave a clean record from Form 1 to Form 4. In a big school, of course. I went to a good school. In a good school, and that guy led almost throughout, except I don't know, once or twice. The guy right now is an engineer somewhere. But the representation of those who go there affects us, because these guys go there and take it for granted that they're there. They are kind of gatekeep. They block us from actually accessing those opportunities. And that's what I'm saying. If you're here and you're about to go abroad for any scholarship, please go represent us well, because that will open a door for someone who is back here in Kenya, or who would want to one day join the graduate school in any other country, or even the undergraduate school. If you're given an opportunity, please use it well, because you'll be making way for other people. Right now, my school, I've noticed students from my school, there's a high intake from my school, my former school, because even the University of Nairobi knows that if we pick students from this school, these guys come here and be among the best. And that's why we have secured our position at the University of Nairobi. I won't mention my school, but eventually it will become clear. Because even if lecturers ask you, which school were you? Where did you go? You think they do that so that to do what? To gain what? They do that to do kind of a due diligence. To confirm that truly, someone from Nyalugunga Secondary, someone from Nyambeke Secondary, someone from whatever secondary school you went to or high school you went to, whether national or extra county or even a mixed or day school, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do, because that actually represents, that says a lot in the admission list. Please, please, please. I'll stop here for this video, but if you get a chance, if you have a sibling who is in under a scholarship abroad, tell them, please do your best for the sake of those you've left here. Because even them, the reasons why they went to those scholarships easily is because perhaps those who preceded them did well. That's why the likes of, the likes of Tomboya, the likes of, mention them. These guys who went abroad and did well. I heard of a Kenyan who led. There's a lady from Juja, JKUAT. Congratulations to that lady and kudos. A very big thumbs up. The lady left undergraduate school. She did a bachelor's in, I don't know which engineering. I don't know, mechanical or electrical, I'm not sure. Did an engineering undergraduate and then got a scholarship to go do a DPhil, more or less of a PhD in engineering, same line of engineering in Oxford. And she went there and she led. That is not benefit to her alone. That is not beneficial to her alone. That is beneficial to even the population that she left in JKUAT, population she left in her tribe. Yeah. So personally, I know there are limits in my end, because people who preceded me from my community, oops. Yeah. So today I'll finish my video here. But please, 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 I know the last part has been more or less of a podcast, but I'm just trying to find a way of sharing this information. Please, if you know anyone who is about to go or is already there, tell them please to work hard for the sake of those they have left here. That is the only way we'll ensure that we build the Kenyans' economic, employment index, because by you going there, coming back here, you'll be marketable enough. You'll have good training, so for you to get a job or for you to even do a good business, you'll have enough skills. For you to do a startup, you'll have enough skills. But if we don't, we'll remain poor. We'll remain in our, in our constraints, because someone somewhere messed up. Please, please and please, do your own due diligence to these universities. Do good applications. If you need any consultation, let me know in the comment section. I'll assist. I'll connect with the people who have been there. Perhaps they'll assist you in doing your essays. They'll assist you in proofreading them. And at the end of the day, you'll be admitted. Thank you very much. Let's meet on my next video on the common mistakes we do in careers. Thank you.